Alright, so it's always a good day when you get a nice package in the mail. Thanks to my tuner, Goose Tune, for getting it shipped out right away. But show you a little what I got, even though I kind of jumped the gun and started opening the packaging. I was too excited. So, I got the Raptor Flex Fuel Kit. Seems to be a pretty simple kit. I did have to look up online for the instructions because they're not in the package, but they do send a card with the link on there. Everything's nicely packaged as usual per Cobb. But yeah, there's the can gateway module, the ethanol sensor, fuel line, some brackets there, and I guess we will see how the install goes. Once again, folks, sorry I've been terrible at grabbing the videos. I do got a few pieces installed, and I'll show them when I'm under the truck. But there was a little bracket and then a flex fuel sensor, then a couple little screws that mount the flex fuel sensor to the bracket. This is the fuel line that needs to come out that gets replaced, and now will come out to the truck. Very easy to get on and off. So that's where it mounts. They got a little piece that goes up into the frame, and then you tighten the nut down to it, and that gives it the mounting for the bracket. That's where the sensor ties into the factor fuel line that direction. Then the kit comes with this hose, and then it ties in back there. So that little line I took out went from the tank back there to there. You take that out, then you install this section. Super easy. Make sure you follow the instructions. Using the Cobb, you can basically release most of the fuel pressure from the system so you don't make as big of a fuel mess. But yeah, now the fuel system is buttoned back up, and it's a matter of running some wires and mounting the can module and stuff. Now the one harness, which in it's self-explanatory from the sensor, plugs in there. I brought it over the frame, and I brought it with this harness. I'll probably put another zip tie there, make it a little nicer. Run it all the way up. And then I brought it in following this harness. And now I got it just chilling there, because right back there is where the can module is gonna mount. And the can module is right here. It's just 2 bolts, tightens right in there. And it'll get mounted underneath the cowl. I'll show it when I got it in there, but kind of like that. Little 10mm work, pretty simple. Okay, so to mount this, you just undo that 10mm back there. Find it easier to go ahead and unplug this. Don't mind part of my clip being broke. And then uses this piece of hardware and that 10mm bolt there, and yeah, fits in just perfect. Didn't have to bend nothing or nothing like that. She popped right on in there. Okay, so here's the longer part of the harness, and I'll show it when I get it in the truck. But this part connects up by the OBD2 connector, and it is fused. And then this goes through and acts as whole. I'll see when I get it open. I think it's in the floor actually. And then this part of the harness will then go up to the can module. And then it will all be connected. Then it's a matter of flashing a tune, and off it goes. Okay, so here in the truck, you pop that panel off, moves that, you lift up the carpet a bit, get it out from that trim piece there, and then there's a rubber hole right there. And that is the spot where this comes through. And then you route the one wire up to hook into underneath the OBD connector. So just for a better look, this connector was plugged into the back of this OBD2 here. Just a little push tab there and it releases. And now this, just like that, clicks right on in. I already got the carpet all back, so I'll zip tie this, back and out of the way, and yeah, put my middle panel back on. Well, got the new tune on, changed the data login parameter. You will have to update the Cobb unit, but it is on a working. Right now I currently only have 91 in, and that's what I'm going to start logging in to relog on the 91 octane, and then once those logs are done, then I will fill it with the 85. All right, so I just finished tuning on 91 octane with this kit in here. I had like 7 miles to E. Got about a little over 34 gallons in. So this is gonna be the first time to see if the gauge actually starts moving and doing its thing, because the 91 that was in here had absolutely no ethanol in it. I just started it up after filling. I know it'll take obviously a little while for it to drain the fuel bucket and to get through the lines and, you know, start moving on up. So now just a little bit of a waiting game to see how fast she'll start changing. I did test the E85 before going in, and it was about right at E85. So I was saying we should start seeing it start to change anytime here soon. Well, after driving a while, we got up to 74%. Suppose that's probably about right with what was still in the tank and in the rest of the fuel system. So probably what I'll do before I start doing data logs on the E85 is I'm going to probably run what I have in here out and refill. So that way it's true E85, so the tune will know the max ethanol it'll ever see. Several data logs on one tune is what it is. He starts with whatever fuel you have in the system. In my case, it was 91, no ethanol. Did the tuning on that to get it to where it should be, and then he told me to start putting ethanol in there. So I'll probably run this out before I start sending him logs. But anyways, I know I was not the greatest videographer for doing this process, but I figured I would try to get ahead of it just so that people can see what it entails to do the install. And it's not much. Super easy kit to install. It did not take long at all. And then you get your tune and start logging. But all I can say is how sweet this is now to not be jumping back and forth. Because I was going from my E85 tune to the pump gas tune, especially if I was going to be taking a trip, and it would flash fast, but this is just a nice seamless deal that whatever I put in can go. And say if I get E85 somewhere and don't test it, it's only going to put out the power output for what ethanol content is in the tank. As far as running E85, all I had to do was, obviously custom tuning and ID 1050 injectors, and then now this flex fuel kit to be able to have flex fuel. Other than that, my truck's just a standard stage 2 truck, nothing crazy. Intercooler downpipes, cold air intake. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on everything. Sorry the video wasn't all that great.